You are the man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome inside Winthrop Coliseum. Rock Hill, South Carolina is rocking for the Big South Championship. We're punching the second ticket to the NCAA tournament this afternoon. It's #1 seed Winthrop, upstart, and 7 seed Campbell for the right to go to the dance. With Paul Biancardi, former Horizon League Coach of the Year, Roy Philpott courtside. Great to have you with us as always. And we've got 2 of the top 10 scorers in the country, Paul, in Chris Clemens and Keon Johnson.
Well, at 5'9", Chris Clemens has exploded for 111 points here in 3 games. That's a Big South tournament record. He's quick, he's clever, and crafty with the ball in his hands. At 5'7", Keon Johnson, the Big South Player of the Year, is the all-time leading scorer in Winthrop history. He shoots it at 40% from behind the arc.
If you like points, if you like drama, you found the right basketball game on this Sunday afternoon. Udi Okeke set to tip things off. An NCAA tournament appearance at stake. And welcome to Rock Hill. Opening tap controlled by the Eagles of Winthrop. Paul, their 4th consecutive season here in the championship game. They've never won it under head coach Pat Kelsey, but they're extremely optimistic playing here at home this year.
They averaged 79 points a game this season, Winthrop. They're always attacking, looking to score, but they live by their defense.
7 to shoot. No look dish and the flush. Dubi Okeke, the first points of the afternoon.
Well, that's what that big fella does. Okeke, 0 on the white. He's a finisher, a shot blocker. A rim protector for Winthrop.
Hamels out of Buies Creek, North Carolina, some 200 miles away. Upset the #2 seed UNC Asheville to make it to the championship game. Looking for their 4th win in the last 6 days to advance to their first tournament since 1992. 3-pointer off by Burke, and the rebound controlled by Okeke.
We're going to see Campbell in a lot of zone defense. 3rd game in 4 days. Not a deep team.
First look at Keon Johnson, and he turns it over.
And for Winthrop, it's all man-to-man. The pack line defense for Pat Kelsey.
Former player at Xavier and assistant coach at Wake Forest. 3-pointer short as Gensler could not connect. Important for Campbell to get off to a good start. They lost to Winthrop twice in the regular season. And as a #7 seed, their work cut out for him today.
Well, against the zone, you penetrate and find the big fella inside. The flush, Okeke. Great hands, powerful shoulders, right to the rim.
Corey Gensler picks up his first personal, first team foul, and Cooks, a first-team All-Big South performer at the stripe. Been a double-double machine this season, Paul. He averages 70% at the line.
His game is at the free throw line, the jump shot, the face-up game, and he likes to go inside, and when he does, he gets double-teamed. He's an excellent big-man passer. Cooks and Keon Johnson combined for 39 points for Winthrop.
Fast start for the Eagles. Cooks from New South Wales, Australia, sporting the new hairdo for this tournament. And Campbell needs an early basket here to calm the Winthrop storm.
They love to hit that elbow, then play from that high post. Dribble handoffs, back cuts, handoffs, the 3-point shots. It's a Princeton-Richmond style offense.
Step back triple for Clemens. Well short. Johnson, a sick crossover. Crumps it up for the 2nd time. And Clemens can't connect with the putback by Whitfield. Pat Kelsey, year #5, played his college basketball at Wyoming for a couple of seasons, transferred to Xavier with the Bulldog mentality, passionate, fiery. He's ready to go dancing this year, Coach.
But all he talks about is the process. He told his team yesterday in practice, let's be great for 60 minutes today. That was yesterday. Doesn't focus on results. Talks about the process, one day at a time. Well, there's only 1 day left, and that's today.
And it all comes down to what happens in these 60 minutes.
He says we're not going to change the message. We're not going to change the approach or the attitude. It's what got us here.
9 to shoot. Cooks attacking. Beautiful ball movement. Perkins, gotta hurry. And controlled by Burke, a big stop for the Camels.
That's where you want to get the ball against the zone. Into the paint, flatten out that zone, and play from there.
Clemens, a jump stop. Johnson controls.
Winthrop, best in the Big South at blocking shots. They also chain shots. It's tough for Clemens when he gets inside.
Off the mark is Keon Johnson, the Big South Player of the Year. Whitfield, a spin. And Campbell will slow things down, and that really is the Camels' game. They want to slow down Winthrop, so explosive offensively.
Yeah, they want to run selectively, Campbell, but they're going to control the pace of this game. They want this game in the 60s, Roy. They're going to control it with their offense and their matchup zone defensively.
Kinsler nearly traveled. Three-pointer by Burke.
Campbell 0 for 4 from distance. They can't just settle for threes, even though they're a good three-point shooting team.
Attacking the zone pressure. Perkins launches and connects.
Love it. Inside-out basketball against the zone. Once you get the ball to the zone, the middle of the zone, it flattens out behind. You can go left or right. You have all kinds of options. You got to get it there with the pass or the drive.
Kinsler back iron. And both teams on the deck. It'll be Winthrop basketball when we come back. A fast start for the Eagles at home. Chris Clemens, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. This guy's on fire. Well, back at the Big South Championship here in Rock Hill, and the big story in this tournament, Chris Clemens, a tournament record 111 points, including 51 just 3 nights ago.
He's averaging 37 points in 3 games. This guy's clever, he's quick, he's nasty behind the three-point line, and when he gets to the rim, wants to dunk it on you.
He absolutely wants to. 111 points, 37 per game, according to my mathematics. And great to have you on board today alongside of Paul Biancardi, former Horizon League Coach of the Year, Roy Philpott. Boy, it doesn't get any bigger than this. The winner advances to the NCAA tournament. The loser is left wondering for another offseason.
Well, Campbell right now is like Cinderella, so they need to step up in this game to make it happen. The #1 key for Campbell, limit the live ball turnovers. Winthrop is programmed to attack when you make a mistake. Second thing for Campbell, they have to make Keon Johnson at 5'7". He's got to play in the lane. They got to chase him off the three-point line, let him get into the lane, not foul, and use their length. For Winthrop, they have to contain Chris Clemens. As I mentioned, 37 points a game in the last 3. You have to stay connected to him and contest his shots. And lastly for Winthrop, just know your role. They got a great team. They got a great supporting cast. Now's not the time to play hero ball if you're Winthrop.
First of 3 championship games here on ESPN today. Head coach Kevin McGeehan, year number 4, trying to get his team to the tournament for the first time. It would be just the 2nd appearance in Campbell history. First one occurring way back in 1992. And Cooks perfect at the stripe. It's 8-2 Eagles. Anders Broman checking in. The redshirt junior from Minnesota was the leading high school scorer in the country for 2 years. Transferring in from South Dakota State.
The Broman brothers really know their role. They understand that to defend and make open shots. OKK inside. It's been the supporting cast for Pat Kelsey. It's really stepped up this year to lead them to 26 wins.
Important possession for Winthrop defensively, and also for Campbell trying to score, and they can't do it again. Broman comes out of there with it. Perkins for 3.
He's 38% behind the arc, Roderick Perkins.
Coach Campbell just 1 for 8 from the field to start. They've got to find a way to kickstart this offense in a hurry. The spin, and Ladeau will shoot a pair.
Well, that's the one thing about this Campbell offense. They're going to shoot a lot of threes because the defense backs up so much on the back cuts. When the defense extends, they feed the post or they cut back door. It's layups or three-point shots for Campbell.
Ladeau will shoot 2, just 54% at the line this year. Played in all 33 games, and a big shot early in this one. Albeit just a free throw attempt.
Well, he's shooting 61%, as you mentioned, from the floor, but only 54% from the line.
Yeah, rarely you see players shoot a higher percentage from the field.
And we know in a championship game, you cannot leave points at the line. Just too valuable. Every possession.
5 minutes in. The Big South Championship in Rock Hill, South Carolina. High low to Okeke. And a late whistle. Our veteran officiating crew, no basket. Ted Valentine, our head referee tonight.
See Winthrop making a concerted effort from the wing to the middle against the zone.
That went against Whitfield. That's his first. And Okeke is 25% at the line.
So now Campbell, they need to pack it in a little bit tighter. I know Winthrop can shoot threes, but you can't allow the ball right dead center in the middle of the paint. Teams can play high-low against you, or they can throw opposite for open shots and drives. Campbell may have to pack that in a little more until Winthrop starts to make some threes.
Lotto the rebound. Here comes Clemens, who's been quiet and held in check thus far.
And Keon Johnson is covering him 5'7" on 5'9".
Deep three. And that's what he does best.
And that's what he does often. He is a rhythm-type scorer, Chris Clemens. 3 in the black. 51 points the other night in the Big South tournament game.
33 in the semifinal victory against Radford. 51 earlier in the week. Tapped away and stolen.
Good activity.
And right back to Perkins, who cashes in.
Good activity for Campbell. They couldn't capitalize. Winthrop alert.
14-6, the lead is 8.
Campbell only 2 for 9 from the field. A little bit of nerves, I can see. They just need to settle down and understand they're going to get their shots.
Montez Oliver an air ball, but this is what Chris Clemens does best. You'll see more of this today.
And you see how quickly he just sizes up the defender, Keon Johnson at 5'9". It's a quick trigger, Roy. It's a quick release. And then the turnover against the outlet pass. Alert play by Roderick Perkins.
Joshua Davenport just checked in, comes up short. Campbell's Clemens a step back triple again, rolls that one home.
See, as he comes down the floor, you can't back up. As he comes down the floor, you have to get closer to him, stay connected, and contest the shots.
Clemens starting to heat up. The lead dwindles to 5. The step back for Johnson. In and out.
So you got to find Clemens right now in transition. A man on him, and then he's got to see another man. Pat Kelsey talked about a man and a half on Clemens at all times. And if you do that, you're going to open up driving lines for the rest of the team.
That's exactly what happened. The sea parted for Gensler, a freshman from Cary, North Carolina.
But you can't let the main man beat you, Chris Clemens. If someone else is going to step up for Campbell, so be it. But we know he can go for 50.
Perkins has the last 8 for Winthrop. A 9-2 run for Campbell. Little shake and bake for Davenport. And back to the Camels.
Clemens pushing it in transition. When you think you're close enough, think again, you're not. Quick trigger. It's almost a set shot. Doesn't really use his legs that much. He bends his knees. But I'll tell you what, he flicks that thing up there quick and it goes in.
Sophomore out of Riley, his best basketball still well in front of him. He's got 6 quick points after missing his first 3-point attempt of the afternoon.
I'm not sure how long Keon Johnson at 5'7" can stay on Chris Clemens.
Yeah, you and I were talking yesterday. You would put more length on Clemens to make sure he doesn't get an open look.
I put Roderick Perkins on him.
Oliver off the glass.
Mix different defenders. Let him see different guys. Don't let him get in a rhythm.
Back to a 1-point game. Johnson will try to change that. He cannot. Campbell controls the loose ball, but it's out. And back to Winthrop.
Keon Johnson exploded for 29 in the semifinal against Gardner-Webb in the second half and in overtime. Only 2 points at the half, but we know this guy's like a microwave. He gets hot in a hurry.
Oh, I love that comparison. A little Vinnie Johnson in him. That may be too old school for some of our viewers.
He's got that Vinnie Johnson type body and game.
Broman for three. And the answer on the other end. Point guard Bjorn Broman, brother of Anders Broman. Lead us back to 4.
Broman, the best shooter on the team, percentage-wise at 44%. You're going to see him on Chris Clemens as well. Very good on-ball defender for a guy who can shoot it. See the back cuts by Campbell. Anytime they dribble out a teammate, they back cut.
Clemens well short, nearly an air ball, controlled by Cooks. 4th straight year the Eagles have played in this championship game. They have gone 0 for 3 under Pat Kelsey. Trying to break through, and Cooks, a big layup.
They're so hard to guard, Winthrop. They can beat you from the outside with a three-point shot. At 38% as a team. They have Cooks inside with skill and finesse. The big fellow KK at the rim.
Under 11 to play here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Big South Tournament Championship. And Clemens forcing the contact. It'll stay with the Camels when we return. A 6-point advantage for Winthrop here at home.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Audi.
Championship Sunday and women's college basketball continues over on ESPN2. Coming up first at 3 o'clock Eastern, top seed South Carolina takes on number 2 seed Mississippi State in the SEC Championship right up the road in Greenville, South Carolina. Then at 7, 5 seed Purdue, number 2 seed Maryland in the Big Ten Championship live from Indianapolis. Then finally at 9, off to Seattle, the West Coast, number 2 seed Oregon, number 1 seed Stanford in the Pac-12 title game. All games streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Back here in Rock Hill, 19-13, Eagles with a 6-point advantage. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott. Here's how we got to this championship. Campbell, a big upset against number 2 seed UNC Asheville in the quarterfinals. Resounding win against Radford, and Winthrop advancing here at home to face the upstart Camels, who have trailed just about every minute so far in this game.
We talked a lot about Chris Clemens averaging 37 points in 3 games, but Roy, look at the percentages. 59% from the field, 50% from 3, and he's 86% from the stripe.
Right on cue.
It's not like he's a one-hit wonder. Those are tremendous percentages over 3 games.
Interesting, too, that Chris is more soft-spoken, a leader by example, just a sophomore. But his team obviously responds to his play in a very large way.
Now you see the extension of the zone. They just take that zone, extend it, quick trap. Trying to eat time into that shot clock.
Now Clemens, 111 combined points before today, including 51 against the 2 seed, the Bulldogs.
And when you look at his 3-point shooting, it's 14 for 28, and they're deep.
Now he steps in the gym, he's in range. Inside, and Perkins off to a very fast start. He's got 10.
Now Clemens is out for Campbell, so where will their points come from? No one on this team averages double-figure points except for him.
Campbell to its motion offense. 3-pointer for Burke. All net.
Burke, an excellent 3-point shooter. See the 1-1-3. Goes back to a 2-3 zone, and it matches up. They take the shape of the offense.
Perkins out of control, turns it over. Kevin McGeehan told us yesterday that's what they would try to do, is mix up their defenses.
You have to against Winthrop. Winthrop is an outstanding offensive team. They beat you behind the arc, in the paint. You can't play one way defensively against Winthrop unless you have better talent.
Burke will try to tie it up. Yes! Marcus Burke from way downtown.
You know he's 40% from 3s on those handoffs. You got to chase him over.
And how about this comeback by the Camels, trailed by 8 early, and we're tied. Now Marcus Burke, the freshman from Indianapolis, the sharpshooter.
You see the handoff. We don't see the defender. That's pure. Anytime Campbell runs any dribble handoff action, you're going to have to chase over the handoff to chase him off the 3-point line, force that offensive player into the paint. And Winthrop is such a good shot blocking team with OKK and Cooks.
Arguably some of the best size in this conference of the Big South. Experienced players as well. Perkins now with 12 in the left hand.
The defense is geared up for Johnson and Cooks. Perkins has stepped up all season long. Only 7 points a game that he averages. But they're timely. You got to make that catch, excuse me, Roy, a little bit higher.
You're going to win a championship, Perkins, or a role player. But it helps if you get unexpected production there to ease the pressure from some of your stars.
And that's what we talked about on the keys. Know your role. This Winthrop team really understands who they are outside of Cooks and Johnson.
Prescott inside, his first points since the quarterfinals.
And the role players will play like stars during the season. Perkins has had some big games. The Broman brothers make timely and big shots.
And a timeout called by Kevin McKeon. Well, a fast start for the redshirt senior, Roderick Perkins, out of Smyrna, Georgia. This guy's on fire, Coach.
He's taking it to the rim. He sees the lane. Eyes are up. Layup is good.
Back here inside the Winthrop Coliseum, the Big South Tournament Championship game. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott. The lead is 4. The homestanding Eagles. After a day off, both of these teams getting after each other thus far, Coach.
Winthrop getting some pleasant points from Roderick Perkins with 10. Last time he played against Campbell, did not score.
4 in a row now for the Eagles. Perkins again. Corner triple on fire.
It's one way to beat the zone. Play ahead, push the ball before it can get set. Perkins on fire.
His career high is 18. He already has 15, 12 minutes in.
See, that takes the pressure off of Keon Johnson. Xavier Cooks.
A 7-0 run for Winthrop and possession. Johnson comes up short. Beauty to board.
And it's really important that Campbell doesn't try to play run and gun with Winthrop. They can't score early. They got to hold it.
Great cut and the near finish. A rebound by Cooks.
Great look.
Cooks nearly lost it. And free throws upcoming.
Roderick Perkins is on fire. He's already set up in the corner. Drains it. Winthrop up 7.
Bearcats, I think, good enough, deep enough, offensive enough with Troy Copain to make a really deep run in this year's dance.
Cincinnati, always a very strong defensive team. The difference this year is the offense, the balanced scoring, the ability to put points on the board and make consecutive stops.
Coach, you were just over there in the huddle, eavesdropping in with Pat Kelsey's crew. What was he talking about?
Well, he talked a lot about offense. Want to continue to push the ball in transition, flatten them out by putting guys in the corners. We saw Roderick Perkins with that three-point shot. They want to continue to play fast, he said, and faster. Talked about a few sets against the zone. We're going to see Keon Johnson come off a double screen to the corner, possibly against the zone defense. He talked about attacking, staying on the attack, and staying tighter defensively. Don't allow those drives.
Quentin Ray in the game for the first time for Campbell as a shot clock winds down and Clemens is short.
It's a well-executed huddle by Pat Kelsey. He gets you fired up in there.
We were fired up just talking to him yesterday on our Hit for Sports Center earlier this morning. He's ready to go. He knows what's at stake. In fact, he gets a little emotional talking about what's happened these last couple of seasons. Clemens too strong. Mentor was the late Skip Prosser as Johnson off the screen can't connect. Just has that bulldog mentality as a head coach. Pat Kelsey for Winthrop. Clemens. Came up wide right on that attempt. Approaching 6 to play in the first. Crossover, Johnson. And rejected, but contact. Now, Udy smacked it away, but Keon Johnson heading to the strike.
And that's where, if you're Campbell, you want Keon Johnson. Play in the lane. Once he gets into the lane, though, you cannot foul him. You got to go hand straight up. He loves to throw his body into the defenders. You cannot foul him. Make him finish at 5'7".
Johnson looking for his first points of the afternoon. A Big South Player of the Year. And he finds the first one. NBA Sunday Showcase over on ABC will be live from Madison Square Garden. Warriors take on Melo and the Knicks. That's at 3:30 today. NBA Countdown with Sage and Jalen get you ready for the game at 3. Both are also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. So much drama with the Knicks and Steph Curry off the mark the last week or so. Can Golden State get things going as Clemens checks out?
I don't know the answer to that, Roy, but I know one thing. The NBA has the best players in the world, but college basketball is the best game.
Well, the intensity certainly in this gym today.
I'm going to get crushed on Twitter for that one, but the excitement, the emotion, what's at stake, the fan base.
Beautiful backdoor cut and the flush by Udy.
Campbell so well drilled on their execution of their elbow offense.
It's a Princeton-style attack, isn't it?
Yes, it came from Princeton. The ability to cut back door when you're overplayed or when your teammate dribbles at you. Good composure. They read the overplay so well. And the weak side defense or the help side defense is not there because there's shooters on the other side of the floor. They stretch you out, they space you out. They look for the three, then the back cut.
Foul went against Quentin Ray. That's his first. And Johnson back at the line. Still without a field goal, but is perfect at the strike. And Winthrop in the bonus. More than 5.5 minutes left here in the first.
And don't forget, Keon Johnson only had 2 points against Gardner-Webb at half in the semifinal. He went off for 29 in the second half in overtime. All-time leading scorer in the history of Winthrop basketball, Keon Johnson.
Long ways to go in this one, but if Winthrop survives today here at home, could be a difficult out for another team in the big dance here in, I don't know, the next 12 days or so. They got upperclassmen, they've got scoring ability, they've got heart, well coached. Whitfield, contact, offensive foul. And that'll be his second.
You see the drive, Okeke moving his feet. Great job of moving your feet, taking it square on the chest. And the guy 6'8", 250 falls down. I'm not sure about that, but he sold it well.
Bang bang plays, tournament championship games, you never know. Good crew on hand here today, led by Teddy Valentine, Michael Lucky, and also Justin Porterfield. And full court pressure, trapping pressure now for the Camels.
They've got an all-star officiating crew. You mentioned it. This guy's a high level. Look at the paint, how open it is against this matchup zone.
And Perkins thought about it instead. We'll whip it around to Davenport, rejected by Udy.
Great block.
Clemens attacking. And Udy the stick back. Coming off a career high 14. He's done a nice job for Coach McGeehan.
How about Udy gets the block, runs the floor, gets the tip in, outstanding.
Pump fake by Johnson. Off the glass with a bounce.
He loves to throw his body right into the defender. If you're smart, you keep your hands up and don't foul. Make him finish that all game long.
Under 4.5 to play. The lead is 9 in the Big South Championship. And Keon Johnson, the player of the year in this conference, has the last 6 for Winthrop. Baseline. Udy on fire all of a sudden.
Udy making energy plays, baskets. Over 50% from the field, so you have to respect him. He's got a little face-up game. He's got a nice touch inside.
Back iron for Johnson. Udy the rebound as he corrals it finally. And Clemens bothered near the charity stripe. 7-point advantage for Winthrop here in Rock Hill. Under 4 to play at the Big South Tournament Championship.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Dang right it's a chip.
Recipe to take care of business today?
Roy, I think the first thing is you have to be healthy both physically and mentally. Fresh legs and fresh minds are so important when it comes to a conference championship. And then are you hot? Are you hitting on all cylinders? You know, momentum and confidence can be your best friend. You don't want to be coaching confidence at this time of the year. And I think team chemistry is so important. Togetherness, no jealousy, no envy. It shows on the court. You need a leader in the game. And then last but not least, you got to make consecutive stops and scores if you're going to win it all.
Approaching 3.5 to play. The lead is 7 for #1 seed Winthrop. Broman, the floater, count it. Boy, that was beautiful.
So good, so clean into the lane. Understands to release it before the defense gets there. A 6-footer with the floater.
That was Bjorn Broman, his brother Anders also on the team. Burke, a big triple, and the response. The lead is 6. Paul, you got to believe important for Campbell to close out this first half strong, playing essentially a road game.
They've already taken 15 threes. They've made 5. But Winthrop answers the bell.
Anders Broman, his first points, averaging nearly 8.5 per game. The lead is back to 9.
You talk about the supporting cast for Winthrop. Been so big in this game. Perkins with 15. The Broman brothers making threes. They take the pressure off Keon Johnson, Xavier Cooks.
Clemens back iron. Eagles are shooting over 50% from the floor. And here they come again.
That's the downside of too many threes. There's long rebounds and a lot of pushes.
Gensler, who just checked back in with a board.
But Winthrop loves this pace. They want to go up and down with no whistles.
Outside to Burke, has had the hot hand. And Ferguson the board. Josh Ferguson, the freshman from Miami. And Winthrop coach will slow things down with under 2 to play.
They're going to try to get that ball to the middle. Watch Keon Johnson come off a screen, 5 in the white to the right baseline. Campbell sniffed it out, covered it well.
8 to shoot for the Big South Player of the Year. Pat Kelsey calls him splat. That's one of the reasons why he hit the deck.
He went down 16 times in the Gardner-Webb game.
It's almost like they tracked that stat here.
Exactly what we were talking about with Campbell. Key to the game, make Keon Johnson play in the lane.
One ticket to the big dance has already been punched. Last night it was Jacksonville State in an upset in the Ohio Valley Conference. Burke running one-hander well short. Campbell trying to pull off another shocker here. Clemens in traffic. 2 free throws coming up. The coach, we take you inside the play, and Johnson getting after it.
Well, Keon Johnson loves to shoot a 3-point shot, but when he gets into the lane, the help defense comes over, but they don't foul. This is where you want Keon Johnson right there, 5'7". Let it go. Let him try to finish against length and height. He likes to throw his body into the defense and get to the foul line. He lives behind the arc and on the line.
Clemens with 9. The foul went against Josh Ferguson, his first. Keon Johnson, a senior. He's been in this championship game every year of his career.
He's 0 for 4 right now from 3. And Roy, we talked about this before the game. In the other 3 championship games, Keon Johnson, 9 for 40 from the field. He struggled in the championship game over the last 3 years.
Like Clemens, he's also soft-spoken. We asked Pat Kelsey yesterday, have you talked to your star about what's happened in the past? And he said, quite honestly, no. He's just one of those players that's always even keel.
Very stoic.
Very stoic.
But he's a gamer. When the lights go on, Keon Johnson shows up, leaves it out, all out in the court.
Well, I've never heard a coach say it took him about 2 years to understand how to coach him because he was so quiet. As Cooks in the paint now has 8.
And that's the other side of this Winthrop offense. Good 3-point shooting team, but Xavier Cooks, skill as a 4-man.
Crowd back in it. The lead is 9. Udy, the jump hook.
Pat Kelsey likes to double the post big on big in that pack line defense. In this game, they're playing one-on-one because they want to extend on the shooters and drivers. That maybe have to be an adjustment in the second half.
7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. As Cooks attacks Burke and strip. Big stop for the Camels. Shot clock is off. Campbell can play for the final attempt of the first half.
And you know who's going to shoot it.
Here he comes against Johnson. Contested three, well short, and air ball. A 7-point lead for the #1 seed Winthrop Eagles here in Rock Hill, playing in front of the home crowd. After the first 20 minutes, Winthrop 18-3 when leading at halftime this year. 15 points on the board for Roderick Perkins. Halftime report coming up as we sing. Back in Rock Hill, South Carolina, you're watching Champ Week on ESPN. The start of our second half here at the Big South Tournament title game. A 7-point lead for #1 seed Winthrop. And alongside a former Horizon League Coach of the Year, Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott on hand. Winthrop came in as a heavy favorite, and so far about as expected, you would think.
They average 79 points a game. They're well on their way with 41. They're shooting 50% from the field. Campbell has to slow that offense down.
It's been an interesting start for Roderick Perkins, averaging just over 7 points per game. Already 3 points away from his career high with 15 in the first 20 minutes.
Well, the big moment can make seniors rise to the occasion, and Roderick Perkins, the steady senior, doing it from distance, 3 for 3 behind the arc, 6 for 7 overall. He's efficient, he's effective. Keon Johnson, Xavier Cooks, only with 14 combined points. They average 39 together. Perkins taking the pressure off of those guys.
Well, the comparison between Clemens and Johnson, both averaging over 30 points per game in this tournament coming in. Kind of a slow start for Keon, the Big South Player of the Year, just 6. Majority of those coming at the stripe, 10 for Clemens, although it's come with volume shooting.
The defense by Winthrop on Clemens has been good, not allowing him good looks. They're contesting his shots. They're staying connected. And don't forget, Keon Johnson had 29 points in the second half in overtime against Gardner-Webb the other night.
Clemens can't connect. Winner of this game advances to the tournament, the NCAA tournament. The Big South Conference, a one-bid league, and there's Keon Johnson on cue.
He loves the second half of games, doesn't he, Roy? He elevates on that jump shot. A little different than Clemens. It's more of a set shot, flick of the wrist. See little Keon Johnson, he really elevates into that jumper.
And Paul, this will tie the largest lead of the afternoon. Call it 10. Camels need some points, need some stops. 8 to shoot. Burke contested 3.
The right shooter, but the wrong shot. Cooks at 6'7" was all the way out contested. That's a bad look for Burke.
Whipped out to Cooks, the pump fake, skip pass, beautiful ball movement. Johnson for 3. $12 for the Big South Player of the Year. It's #5 in white, Keon Johnson, the senior.
Well, you know he's 40% from 3, so the scouting report says chase him off the line.
Important possession for the Camels. Here's Gensler.
Campbell did a good job in the first half of making Keon Johnson a driver. That's what you want to do. Get him into the lane at 5'7". Take your chances.
Clemens trying to spring free with contact. Judy who can't connect.
Winthrop has that length and size at the rim. OKK, 6'8", tremendous shot blocker. Cooks as well. They both have 150 blocks.
Foul will go against Whitfield. That's his 3rd. How about the start for Keon Johnson and Winthrop here in the 2nd?
Well, look at those legs. They just elevate. Give him some space and put it in the scorebook. You got to get out there before he gets that ball. You got to make him dribble to a shot.
And again, if you're thinking about your brackets and you're looking at Winthrop, remember the name Keon Johnson. If the Eagles hold on here at home, it's a team that could do some damage with a lot of sharpshooters, a lot of experience, well coached.
And a supporting cast, Roy, who stepped up all season long. And today, Roderick Perkins held down the fort in the first half with 15 points.
Whitfield attacking. And the basket will count. two-pointer. The lead is back to 11.
There's no way Winthrop would have the lead at halftime without Roderick Perkins, the senior. Keon Johnson and Xavier Crooks played well, but not well enough to have a lead.
Well, we've seen a lot of emotional senior days across the country in the last week or so. That's what college basketball is all about. You pay your dues, you wait for your chance, and then you shine the brightest when the spotlight is on.
Well, the key for Winthrop is to keep their composure, continue to play with emotion, but don't get emotional during the second half.
Oh, I like that too. Johnson, fade away. And a late whistle by Teddy Valentine will yield 3 shots at the stripe. Oh, that's a costly mistake by Campbell. And DeMontez Oliver knows better than this, Coach.
Well, he's deep, Keon Johnson. You want that hand straight up. You don't want to overextend your closeout. It's a fine line between contesting a shot and following the jump shooter.
Johnson was 14 of 15 at the line in the semifinal win against Gardner-Webb. That game coming in overtime. And he's been perfect today, 5 for 5.
This young man plays with supreme offensive confidence.
Well, you can feel it. It's a different number 5 so far in the second half.
All-time leading scorer in the history of Winthrop basketball, over 2,000 points. And he gets big numbers when he goes.
2.5 minutes into the second half, and Winthrop suddenly in control. He's got all 9 points for the Eagles here in the final 20 minutes.
You see when Keon Johnson plays, he's just never satisfied what he does or what the team does. He's the type of guy who keeps his foot on the pedal all game long. Nice switch.
And stolen, swipe by Johnson.
That was an excellent defensive switch by Winthrop. They're so alert defensively. Best team field goal percentage-wise defense in the Big South.
Now Cook's got too excited, but gets it back for Winthrop.
And I like that decision right there. He wanted to go, but he understood to pull it out, set up the offense, and maybe get Xavier Cooks a touch, 12 in the white.
Paul, you and I have called this championship game each of the last 3 years. Winthrop has been on the road in all 3 contests. A different feel today as Prescott has free throws coming. Playing at home, all these seniors, the experience of getting so close, just has a different vibe to it, doesn't it?
Well, Pat Kelsey told us yesterday that this team has so much experience that they actually finish his sentences when he talks in the huddle and in the locker room. And that's a sign of a team that's connected and confident.
Prescott, the former walk-on, now on scholarship, hits the first of 2. He's got 3 points as Whitfield checks back in.
Really important for Campbell to score with some pace. Not only keep up with Winthrop, but to be able to set their defense.
Largest lead at 16.
When you can't score on the road, that adds to the home crowd.
And about an 11-2 run here in the second half. Clemens, deep 3, and that's an important shot for the hottest shooter in the country.
Well, that keeps the home crowd quiet. It keeps them silent. You don't want them exploding in the second half of this game.
Johnson taps it back to himself. An open look. Yes! Holy cow, this guy's on fire. Whitfield up and under short.
There is no distance for Keon Johnson. It's unlimited range at 5'7".
And this crowd sensing momentum on its side. The lead is back to 16.
Keon Johnson, top 10 scoring guard in the nation.
Perkins a rare miss. Tap to Gensler.
Chris Clemens, number 3 in the nation in scoring. Little guys putting up big numbers to get to a championship game.
Turnaround and a patient move in and out. Coach Campbell getting good looks, but still trailing big. Perkins off the pump fake. And hacked from behind. Foul against the Camels. Lead is 16.
Well, the littlest guy on the court is starting to take over this game. Keon Johnson with his 4th triple of the game.
Don't forget Championship Sunday and women's college basketball over on ESPN2. Up first at 3, number 2 Mississippi State in the SEC against top seed South Carolina. Then it's 7, 5 seed Purdue, number 2 seed Maryland live from Indianapolis. Later on tonight at 9, off to Seattle, number 1 seed Oregon, 2nd seeded Stanford in the Pac-12 championship game. All games, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app and also at Watch ESPN. And check that, it is Oregon State playing for the title in the Pac-12. Keon Johnson, what a story so far in the second. Back in Rock Hill, the lead is 16 for Winthrop. 9 second-half points. He has been on fire as the conference player of the year. In and out on the quick trigger.
Well, 50% of his shots, Keon Johnson, are threes. You really have to stay close and connected to him in this second half.
Burke is short and tapped out of bounds off of Davenport last. It'll stay with Campbell.
Look at those numbers, Roy. Keon Johnson, second half, 12 points. The rest of the team just 2. Campbell really has to close down his vision. Cannot even allow him to shoot it anymore.
We're in the Winthrop Coliseum, home court of the number 1 seed of the Big South Championship. Winner advances to the big dance. Udy down low. Will swing it outside. Quentin Ray is short.
It was a great possession. They hit the slip to the middle, to the corner. Look, there's a lot of time left in this game. Over 14 minutes. You just have to score with pace. Set up your defense. And take Keon Johnson out of the game. Easier said than done.
That's right, it is a 40-minute game composed of 2 20-minute halves, isn't it, Coach? 9 to shoot. Johnson looking for real estate. Oh, splits the double team. And out of control, arrow favors Winthrop, just 2 on the shot clock.
It's 2 on the shot clock, baseline out of bounds. Look for Winthrop to throw something up to the rim, something close.
Eagles won the regular season championship even with a loss today. Have a bid to the NIT. Let's see what's drawn up here. And good defense by Oliver.
Excellent defense. They went with the dribble handoff to Broman. Campbell sniffed it out. They almost split that handoff. Didn't allow the shot.
7th turnover for Winthrop.
If you're Campbell, you just can't panic. You can't start jacking up threes. Still get high percentage shots. Run your stuff. Make Winthrop defend. Trust your system.
Campbellsville frantic to start this second half. And Broman nearly forced the turnover. Whistled for the kickball.
Broman is such a hard-nosed kid. You see him fight over screens, chase guys off of handoffs. For an outstanding shooter, that young man is a good on-ball defender.
Anders Broman led the country in scoring 2 years in a row playing high school basketball in Minnesota. His brother Bjorn, the starting point guard, has done a nice job as well. 13 and 10 in white today. Clemens, that's his shot. You wonder, too, even though Campbell got a day off yesterday, 4 games since Tuesday, if fatigue could be settling in somewhat in the second half.
Well, this is their 6th game, Roy, in 13 days. Fatigue does set in. That's what we talked about, fresh minds, fresh legs. You would hope with the day off yesterday and off his legs, he had a chance to rest. Second half of games, 3 games in 4 days, difficult.
Pat Kelsey in year number 5 here in Rock Hill with the Eagles. That's the 2nd foul on DeMontez Oliver. And Cooks back to the line. What a performance it's been for Xavier Cooks. A point away from a double-double. He's got 14 rebounds, 5 assists tonight. He's done a little bit of everything.
And he's been doing it all season long and for 4 years. This guy's highly skilled. When he comes out of the game, Winthrop struggles to score. They have Keon Johnson. But you see that soft touch at 6'8". High skill level, tremendous footwork. Double-double machine.
3 double-doubles in a row, in fact, for Xavier Cooks. An 18-point advantage.
And he owns 150 block shots in his career. You talked about Winthrop earlier, if they had a chance to advance in this game. They'd be a tough opponent for somebody else. As a 15 seed, 14 seed.
And Kinsler hacked about 25 feet from the rim. Anders Broman picks up the personal. That's his first. And just the first team foul for Winthrop in our final 20 minutes.
You want to get a little more action if you're Campbell to the basket. I like the patience because there's plenty of time.
Well, Clemens hit the deck, no whistle in the paint. And this is the guy that needs to get going already. Exploded for 51 points in an upset of number 2 seed UNC Asheville.
Great defense by Winthrop. They stayed connected.
And he wants this one, Paul. And he'll get it. Attacking the rim.
Big time finish. That was over Xavier Cooks. 6'8" with length. Clemens is an outstanding three-point shooter. But when he makes up his mind to go to the rim, he's trying to dunk on you. He can finish over length. Strong enough to take the contact. He was trying to get the N1.
Clemens with 15. Campbell's need a couple of stops in a hurry.
We talked about that recipe, Roy. Can you make a couple of scores consecutive and stops?
Cooks is short. Oliver the rebound. And an opportunity now for Campbell out of Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. And a foul inside will go against Winthrop. The Eagles at home trying to punch their ticket. A 16-point lead here in Rock Hill. Doug, thank you very much. Peter Jock, so versatile for the Hawkeyes here in Rock Hill, the Big South Championship. Winthrop in search of its first NCAA tournament appearance since 2010. And the upset against Notre Dame back in 07 still resonating with this program to this very day. And for Pat Kelsey, former player at Xavier, an assistant coach at Wake Forest, you know how much this game and this win potentially would mean for him, as close as the Eagles have been the last 3 seasons. Burke out of the timeout, comes up short.
As Pat Kelsey told us on the phone yesterday, we have to maintain our composure. We know it's a big game. We know it's at stake. We don't have to talk about that. But we do have to talk about the things that lead to winning.
Paul will stay with the Eagles. It was very interesting. We asked him, what concerns you most about your team coming in? And there was about a 15-second pause where he caught himself a couple of times. And you could tell the memories of losing 3 straight championship games still very vibrant in his brain and with his program. You don't want to focus on it too much, and it looks like so far so good for the team in white today.
But you can't relax against a guy who dropped 51 points in a game the other night, and Chris Clemens with the basketball right now, because he can go for big numbers and he can go in a hurry.
Adam Pickett just checked in. Will pick up the tough assignment of guarding Clemens. That's 3 in black. And he'll attack number 14 here.
See Winthrop, they got a man on him, and he always sees a help defender. That's excellent defense in the pack line.
4 to shoot. Udy down low, has to hurry. And Winthrop has gone 4 minutes since its last field goal, but the defense coach, it's been there all day.
The best defensive team in the Big South. They play that pack line defense, and they are playing it so well this afternoon. Every time Clemens has the ball, he's seeing 3 and 4 guys behind him. He knows there's nowhere to go. He can't get the shot off. They're taking him out of his rhythm, and that's huge because he's a rhythm scorer.
Down low, rejected by Udy. Good defense, out of bounds. It'll stay with Winthrop.
When I talk about a rhythm scorer, I'm talking about a guy who can make contested shots. He makes tough shots look easy. He can score in a variety of ways, Clemens, both with the ball, coming off screens. He's a dangerous guy to game plan against.
Dubio KK back in. He was having his right knee looked at during halftime. It's numero 0 in white, a shot blocker. Johnson wide open, and why not? The player of the year in this conference connecting again.
Keon Johnson just feeling it. He's got a lot of space to see the rim.
Clemens with the answer on the other end.
I could just watch these 2 guys, Roy, play a little one-on-one.
Johnson with 21, Clemens with 18. Outside to Perkins. All 15 of his points coming in the first half. Nearly stolen away. A big possession now for Campbell, Paul.
They're going to set a little drag screen right there for Clemens. They got to free him up, and he's got to give up the ball and then look to get it back.
Udy against Okeke. And a late whistle. It'll go against Okeke, his third.
Check out Keon Johnson, 5 in the white. He just backpedals out. How do you leave him so alone as the all-time leading scorer in Winthrop history? That's what happens.
He's going to make you pay more times than not. Under 10 to play in the second. A 16-point lead. And back to the Eagles.
See, I don't love that shot. I mean, I know you got to get some threes up, but there's time to drive the basketball, and there's space on the floor.
Winthrop will utilize a timeout. The advantage is 16 here in Rock Hill. The Eagles halfway home here in the second. Through March 12th, more than 336 games. 37 tickets will be punched, including here today at the Big South Tournament. 26 leagues represented overall. And that's what they're playing for, Coach. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott here in Rock Hill. The right to go dancing on the line at stake again.
Well, Winthrop, the #1 seed in this tournament and the most talented team, but they're taking on the hottest player in the Big South, Chris Clemens.
Well, they're playing like the #1 seed so far. And Keon Johnson, the Big South Player of the Year, has outscored Campbell by himself in this second half, 15-10. 9th in the country in scoring is Keon Johnson. Eagles back to work. 7 to shoot. Perkins sensing the shot clock. Okeke can't connect. And saved by Perkins.
That's a hungry offensive rebounding team, Winthrop. They really are complete, Roy, when you think about it.
Okeke, a strong board in traffic. And the held ball arrow will favor Campbell. A nice job by Udy.
That is a grown man's rebound. Duby Okeke. The best size in the Big South belongs to Winthrop. Duby Okeke, two-handed rebound in traffic. And he's trying to get that ball back up to the rim.
Well, one of the officials signaled a held ball, instead the foul. It goes against Udy, his second. Okeke just a 25% free throw shooter.
Averages close to 2 blocks per game. He really protects the rim on defense for Winthrop. And the ability to finish, you hear the crowd knowing he's only 25%.
I believe they do.
Tremendous finisher on the inside, a guy you can throw it up to for lobs against the zone. Battles for rebounds. He's the physical presence that you need, not only to win a Big South championship, but if you want to win a game in the NCAA tournament.
Ogolato checks back in for Campbell. 2 for 2 at the line for Okeke.
What did he have for breakfast?
Well, it just may be the Eagles' year.
A lot of these teams, Roy, in the mid-major, they have so many good guards, but very few have good posts. And that's where Winthrop is different, with Xavier Cooks, a scoring post, and Okeke, a defensive presence.
And that's what makes them dangerous in the NCAA tournament if this score holds. 8 to shoot.
Nice double.
Burke, desperation heave, lucky to draw iron.
And that double team inside forced Campbell to make one more pass. Shot clock goes off.
Now Kevin McGeehan and the Camels running out of time, trailing by 18. As the #7 seed, already an impressive run with 3 wins here in the Big South Tournament. Presbyterian, the #2 seed, UNC Asheville, was upset by Campbell. And then a semifinal win against Radford on Friday night.
And this is a young Campbell team, playing with a lot of confidence in the tournament.
Okeke skies for the rebound. And the crowd chanting Doobie. Doobie OKK.
Like the way Winthrop is utilizing clock and getting organized.
Cooks the spin, some shake and bake off the window.
So difficult one-on-one to guard him. 6'8" with footwork and touch.
And Paul, don't look now, but the largest lead of the game, and the crowd recognizing their Winthrop Eagles.
Well, if you're Winthrop, you cannot look at the scoreboard. You got to keep playing the game.
Burke the clear out. Elbow jumper, no good. And look at Keon Johnson, the former football player.
I think he was getting jealous that OKK was getting all the rebounds. So at 5'7", the little guy put his nose in there.
Played slot receiver, coach, as a freshman and as a senior in high school. Actually liked football better than basketball. Instead, chose the hardwood, and I think he chose wisely. 8 on the shot clock for Winthrop. Brother to brother, and an air ball. Xavier Cook, so versatile. Another double-double, coach. He's been on fire tonight.
Well, from the three-point line, he puts it on the deck. He's so fluid. The spin, the kiss. Winthrop big.
Cardi Roy Philbott back in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And Doobie OKK, a grown man's rebound. This guy came to play.
Well, some guys rebound with strength, some rebound with length. OKK does it with both. He can impact the game without scoring. Tenacious on the glass, an outstanding shot blocker. He's the physical presence for Winthrop all season long. And he's the type of guy you need, Roy, when you go out and play in the NCAA tournament against those bigger, high major teams that have size and strength.
Well, you think about the Eagles in the big dance. The shooters, you do have some size, some rim protection, as you indicated with OKK, as Clemens with a layup out of the break makes it an 18-point game. Winthrop could present some problems if the matchup is right. Certainly they can score and get out in transition with just about anyone.
But they're such a balanced team. They defend so well in the half court.
Little pick and roll for Cooks.
Offensively, they're balanced with two main players, Keon Johnson and Xavier Cooks. They average close to 39 points. We see the supporting cast. Perkins with a big first half. The Broman brothers can really stroke it.
Cooks, 14 points, 14 rebounds in this one. Clemens a fadeaway three. Back to a 17-point lead.
So if you face Winthrop in the NCAA tournament, you have to bring your A game because they can beat you with their defense. Their pack line defense is outstanding, and they have enough scoring weapons on offense. They average 79 points a game.
Well, Pat Kelsey trademarking his defensive strategy after the late Skip Prosser. Also Dino Gaudio at Wake Forest. A pack line philosophy. Clemens comes up short. Udy tracks it down. And those principles play to a very difficult matchup at that next level, as Clemens has other ideas. A chance for three the hard way. Now don't go anywhere just yet. Chris Clemens trying to single-handedly keep Campbell in. And there's a look at Mark Prosser, son of the late Skip Prosser, and an assistant here with Pat Kelsey.
He does an outstanding job for Pat Kelsey. Wired a little bit differently than Pat. Pat's that high energy, that high emotion, and Mark keeps things under control, has great perspective. And then, of course, our colleague and former Wake Forest head coach, Dino Gaudio. Pat Kelsey, Dino Gaudio, assistants together at Wake Forest.
Under 5 to play. The lead is back to 14. Camels need a couple of stops. Cooks for three. Talk about versatility inside and out. He's got 17 points, 14 boards in that last triple.
Right now, the basket is so big for Winthrop. They're shooting with so much confidence. They're playing loose. They're playing easy. Xavier Cooks, nobody on him. It's like a layup. Although 33% from threes, it's a good shooter.
Step back for Clemens, in and out. Gensler the rebound, and a fresh 30 now for the Camels.
This is the offensive balance I was talking about, Roy.
Johnson the steal. Keon Johnson lays it in. Well, Chris Clemens has scored the last 16 points for Campbell. Johnson now with 23. And the crowd in Rock Hill on fire like the Winthrop Eagles. The lead is 19 in the Big South Tournament Championship.
What did Keon have at halftime?
Well, we've been talking about Keon Johnson and Chris Clemens, two players in the top 10 in scoring the country, under 6 feet tall in this game. Look back at some of the all-time greats. Isaiah Thomas showing out right now with the Boston Celtics. How about Spud Webb? Some Nate Robinson, Muggsy Bogues back in the day.
All those guys, Roy, could really stroke it. When you're small, you have to make the outside shot. And Keon Johnson delivers in a big way. 40% this year from threes. And defensively, he gets up on you, he gets under you. He's a pest.
He refuses to let his team lose this game as a senior, having come up short 3 straight Big South Championship games. It doesn't look like that's going to happen again today. Paul Biancardi, Roy Philpott back in Rock Hill. The winner will punch their ticket to the dance. The second bid automatically extended by the NCAA at stake. Jacksonville State did it last night in the OVC. Gensler, a shot just outside the paint here. Back to a 17-point advantage.
See, Campbell, they have to extend. They have to just kind of wrap this game out, just to see if Winthrop will shoot quick and miss. I think you just got to trap as much as possible. Make one more run.
A late whistle and the foul against Whitfield, and that's going to be number 5. And the pain on the face of the redshirt junior from Raleigh. Second time today a Winthrop three-point shooter has been fouled, and for Whitfield with just 4 points, a painful ending to his 4th season.
Well, he was the Robin all season long for Campbell. Chris Clemens, Batman. Whitfield averaged close to 12 points a game. He'll be the leader of this team next year. Only a junior.
Remember Campbell, the 7th seed, won 3 games since last Tuesday night just to get here.
And don't forget Chris Clemens coming back. You got Whitfield coming back. The nucleus of this team is strong and can score.
First of 3 is good. Don't forget tonight on ESPN after the Thunder and Mavs. Cap off your weekend with SportsCenter Night. Steve Levy, John Buccigross. They'll have everything from the NBA, Champ Week, and much more at SportsCenter Night right here. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Anders Broman from Duluth, Minnesota, trying to soft this one away for the Eagles. Can't connect on the final attempt. It's a 19-point lead.
Roy, speaking about small guards, we got a great one coming up in the next game for North Florida. Dallas Moore, 24 points a game at 5'8". An exciting dynamic guard.
The Atlantic Sun Championship from Fort Myers, FGCU in North Florida. Gensler lost it, Cooks the steal. And time ticking down on the Campbell Camels. Out of Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, less than 200 miles from here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Under 3 to play.
I know Winthrop puts up a lot of points. They have 73 right now, but it's been their defense this afternoon on Clemens who's been outstanding.
Johnson tripped, and the whistle. Winthrop in the 1-and-1 in the bonus.
Clemens has 26 points, but he's taken 23 shots, and those points, as we know, have been earned. Campbell only shooting 37% from the field, 27% from 3. And Pat Kelsey's team really lock it in defensively today.
Johnson, Big South Player of the Year with the 1-and-1. Pat Kelsey for the Winthrop Eagles in year number 5 worked his way into coaching in a very unique way, always thinking outside the box. And talked to his old coach, the late Skip Prosser, back at Xavier. The coach, I need a job. And just for kicks, sent him a special package a couple of days later, Paul. And in that package, there was one shoe. And in that package also contained a note, and he said, "Coach, I'm just trying to get one foot in the door. Can you let me in?" Ultimately, Skip Prosser did. He became an assistant. And the rest, as they say, is history.
I love the persistency of Pat Kelsey. What a creative idea.
Timeout on the floor. 2:37 remaining here in Rock Hill. And the Eagles on the verge of punching their ticket for the first time since 2010. Their last time winning a game in the Big Dance. Now, some 10 years ago, upsetting 6th seed Notre Dame by 10. It was Greg Bradshaw with 24 points, Terrell Martin with a double-double, as the Eagles eventually lost to number 3 seed Oregon in the next round by 15. And this team this year, they probably won't be an 11 seed, Paul, but certainly, as we've mentioned several times, can be very dangerous.
I see them as a 14 seed, maybe a 15 at worst. But this team has scoring punch and the ability to make consecutive stops. And if you can do those two things in one game, Roy, you have a chance to beat anybody in the country.
Well, Winthrop, led by Greg Marshall back in 2007, currently the head coach at Wichita State, and a Hall of Fame inductee here at Winthrop, the class of 2013. Greg Marshall, boy, he's
special.
Doing it again, isn't he?
He's got a best NBA prospect in the Missouri Valley Conference on his team, Marcus McDuffie. When you think about Pat Kelsey, he's become the first coach in Big South history, Roy, to win 100 games in 5 seasons. And when he took over the program, it was down, and he built it quick.
Clemens, Team Trey, all net. Clemens with 29. Perhaps too little, too late for the Camels. Eagles playing at home in the Big South Tournament Championship. Needed overtime to hold on against Gardner-Webb in the semis. Desperation 3 was swatted away. And after 3 unsuccessful attempts in this tournament championship game, Keon Johnson refusing to allow his guys to lose this one.
And you just get tired of watching him dribbling the basketball. He's hard to stay in front of.
90 seconds remaining.
Give Winthrop a lot of credit. This game was close at the half. They kept their composure. They played with emotion all game long, but they never got emotional when Campbell made their runs.
And listen to this crowd, an emotional exchange between Keon Johnson and his head coach, and that's what they're playing for, the trophy, the hardware. Winthrop basketball.
Now's the time to get those subs in so they can get their name in the record book.
And Pat Kelsey will empty the bench.
I've been in that position before. You want to step on the floor and shoot one. Nice timeout. Get him in the game.
Mitch Hill will check in. That's 4 in white. Hunter Sadlon also in for the first time. 33 in white. A junior and a senior. And you can feel the emotion in this gymnasium.
Well, the seniors, Tevin Prescott, Keon Johnson, Roderick Perkins, all stepped up for Winthrop to bring this championship to Rock Hill.
Freddie Poole also in for the first time, the junior from Columbia, South Carolina. That's 32 in white. Less than a minute to go in the Big South. The Eagles will punch their ticket for the first time since 2010, led by their star point guard, Keon Johnson, the Big South Player of the Year. And what a moment this must be for him.
Well, the way Winthrop responded to the pressure of losing the last 3 championship games is a credit to Pat Kelsey and his staff. They were prepared today, and they just had the last 3 years blocked out of their mind.
Burt, fade away. Too little, too late for Campbell, but what a run it was for the Camels this year.
They just couldn't get over the hump. No pun intended.
Let's see what you did there. Blake for three. And the shot clock is off. Now this arena about ready to erupt, which should be the final possession of the Big South Tournament Championship.
The Eagles are going dancing.
Time winding down, and for the first time since 2010, Winthrop advances to the NCAA tournament. The second ticket to the dance has been punched here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And let the party begin once again in the Palmetto State. '26th win of the season for Winthrop.